In what has been a disaster start to the season for the Philadelphia 76ers, the one bright spot has been rookie Jared McCain, who right now kind of looks like the next Tyrese Maxey for them.
Garland uses that dribble to get around the floor to places he's comfortable.
McCain with his 5th triple tonight. Gordon up top to McCain. McCain for 3!
And this is massive not only for the present, but also for the future of the Sixers if he turns out to be really good. But let's talk about why he's good. What's happening with Jared McCain that has allowed him to be a good NBA player? Well, for one thing, he doesn't have that like Bones Highland kind of build where he's super skinny and long and lanky. No, this guy is extremely strong. He's explosive, and you can see that when he's trying to get to the rim. It's uncommon for him to really get bumped off of his spot. It's uncommon for him to really have issues finishing through contact. And if you look at some of the advanced numbers, there's going to be inefficiencies there. One, he's a rookie. Two, a lot of these games he's playing without Paul George or Joel Embiid or both. And obviously Tyrese Maxey hasn't been playing. It's one of the reasons why he's been getting so many shot opportunities. You're not going to expect a rookie to show up and score well and be efficient. But if you ignore the advanced numbers, the eye test tells you that there is something here with Jared McCain. And right now, he's the favorite to win the Rookie of the Year award. And the other encouraging thing too is sometimes you get these really strong athletic guards and that's the only way they can really finish, and you're concerned about the skill set. Do they have the in-between game? Do they have floaters? Can they hit a pull-up jump shot from 12 to 15 feet? And Jared McCain has all of that stuff too. From a skill set perspective, it's all there. And honestly, you immediately wonder to yourself, how exactly did this guy fall to this point in the draft? How did Philadelphia end up with this guy? We thought that about potentially guys like Dalton Connect at the time of the draft. McCain looks even better than that. And obviously the other thing that's really helping him is he's shooting well from three, whether it be off the ball with these wide open threes. He's done a ton of movement stuff as well, which has been incredibly encouraging. These relocation threes where he's kicking the ball out and then finding a spot. He brings this energy and movement to the floor on offense that the Sixers desperately need. Not just this version of the Sixers, but past versions as well have been so stagnant, plodding, because it's all built around Joel Embiid. And to have that infusion of movement and youth and energy that Jared McCain is providing them on offense right now has been absolutely massive. And I think he's going to continue to develop the jump shot as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see him be a really good pull-up three-point shooter at some point. And that's the thing that elevated Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey showed up to the league and was incredibly quick and could get to the rim and could finish, but he wasn't seen as a very good shooter, and he has turned himself into a good three-point shooter and, more importantly, a good pull-up three-point shooter so that teams couldn't just sag off him. It's unlocked everything for the rest of his game where he can get to the rim, use his quickness, and at the beginning of the year, because he had to carry so much of an offensive load that it wasn't going as well in terms of the pull-up threes and everything, but Jared McCain already kind of has that three-point shooting stuff. He can add the pull-up stuff and the explosiveness at the rim. That's all very, very exciting for a Philadelphia team that is relying on Jared McCain way more than they ever thought that they would at the beginning of this season. And all of that stuff works really well alongside of the other stars as well. He can operate right now as he has without the stars, without Embiid, without Paul George, without Tyrese Maxey, and still do a lot of stuff for you offensively, albeit relatively inefficiently. But when those guys are back, all of the movement stuff, all of the I'm going to work off a dribble handoff and try and create for others, I'm going to try and get to my pull-up game, I'm going to kick it out, all of that energy that he brings still works perfectly with whether it be the starting group, the bench group, whatever the case may be. When the team is fully healthy, he's a perfect fit. You can have him start alongside Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, Paul George, and defensively, you got to figure some stuff out. But offensively, he can space off the ball really well. He can create for you a little bit when he gets the ball, and you can have him run with the second unit if you want. If you need to bring Maxey and Paul George off and you want to bring Jared McCain in to run alongside Joel Embiid, there's a lot of comfort level that he's already shown working off dribble handoffs, working off Joel Embiid screens, and all that stuff is really important to the construction of their team, even though obviously they're a disaster right now. If at any point they figure it out and look like a potential playoff team or better than that, Jared McCain is probably going to be a pretty big part of this rotation, and his early comfort level doing all the stuff you want him to do has been massive for them. And obviously that's super important for their team this season. But unfortunately for Philadelphia, we haven't seen what this team is supposed to look like, because predictably when they brought in Paul George and they're relying on Joel Embiid, they've had a lot of injury issues. They haven't had their team healthy basically at any point during the season. And the reason that we're getting this much of a look at Jared McCain is because they're missing so many guys. And there's obviously concern from me and others that Philly might never see the version of their team that they thought they were going to have when the year started, because their guys are just never going to be healthy. They're never going to actually have the full version of their team. And that's obviously a massive concern. But beyond this season, moving into the future, this is huge for Philadelphia as well. It's one of the reasons that they were able to build the team that they currently have, is they were okay letting James Harden go when he wanted out because they had Tyrese Maxey, because they were confident in what he was going to become long-term as a player, a late first-round pick. And if Jared McCain can be close to that or something similar, if they've done it again and they basically added another version of Tyrese Maxey here in Jared McCain, that means that they can continue to bridge the gap. It's okay if Paul George misses some games. It's okay if Joel Embiid misses some games. They're not going to be a contender without those two guys, but they can still keep things afloat, change their roster around, and he's super cheap as well. And in this version of the league, with the way that the CBA is, with the way payroll spending is, with the way team building is, you have to hit on some of these draft picks. It's one of the reasons why if Milwaukee completely falls apart and Giannis leaves and they have to trade name and all this different stuff, a massive reason why is because they haven't hit on any of these picks the way that Philadelphia has with Tyrese Maxey, with potentially Jared McCain. And some of it is because they haven't had the picks to actually use. They've traded away so many of their picks, but also they haven't gotten the picks right. You have to have within your rotation, at least every couple of years, you have to add a guy with your first round pick or an early second round pick, whatever you have. You have to add a guy that's actually contributing to your team. And Milwaukee has just not done a good enough job of that, and it's one of the reasons why they are potentially going to completely fall apart. It's not to say that Philly isn't also going to completely fall apart. They're having their own issues, but it could be a main reason. Now, obviously, this is a small sample size. We don't exactly know what Jared McCain is going to be as an NBA player in the long term. The finishing could stagnate. He could just be an inefficient shot chucker, but to me, I'm very confident what his long-term future is going to be. I don't know that he's going to become this Tyrese Maxey level player, someone that's, all-star caliber guy. That would obviously be incredible for Philadelphia. They'd have to figure out how exactly to get those guys to play together on the defensive end of the floor. But I definitely think there's something here, whether it be just for this season. Maybe he's Tyler Hero, right? Maybe he has a really strong rookie season for a team that sees themselves as a contender and then maybe stagnates a little bit. Although Tyler Hero's been really good this year, maybe that's just kind of his ceiling. And that'd be awesome, by the way, for Philadelphia. Getting that level of player with this pick is a massive deal. It's one of the reasons why this has been so celebrated, why so many people have been talking about this. And to me, I'd like to see them continue to invest in his development, certainly while the stars are out, but even when they come back, give him some on-ball playmaking reps. Give him an opportunity to see how he operates in ball screens. Can he hit an occasional pull-up three? Can he be a better playmaker? Can he be a better creator? Can you run a bunch of sets for him where he's running off a bunch of screens and you have your entire set is revolving around, can Jared McCain get open? See what else that opens up for you. And maybe don't rely on the stars so much during the season, and maybe that means that you'll be healthier towards the end of the year. Obviously, they got to get guys healthy in the first place for us to even start talking about them even being in the playoffs. I mean, they literally have one of the worst records in the entire league. But if you're looking for bright spots for Philadelphia so far this season, Jared McCain is absolutely the first place to look. And I'm curious, do you guys think this is real? Am I overestimating his abilities? Am I just putting too much stock into a couple of games where he shot the ball really well? Or are you seeing what I'm seeing, where the eye test is telling you that there is a real thing happening? This guy might win Rookie of the Year. He might potentially be an all-star moving forward in the future. Him and Maxey might be the backcourt of the future there in Philadelphia. Am I crazy, or are you guys seeing this as well?